A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John. Chapter 10, verses 11 to 18. Jesus said, I am the good shepherd. A good shepherd lays down his life for the sheep. A hired man who is not a shepherd, and whose sheep are not his own, sees a wolf coming and leaves the sheep and runs away. And the wolf catches and scatters them. This is because he works for pay and has no concern for the sheep. I am the good shepherd, and I know mine, and mine know me, just as the Father knows me, and I know the Father. And I will lay down my life for the sheep. I have other sheep that do not belong to this fold. This also I must lead, and they will hear my voice, and there will be one flock, one shepherd. This is why the Father loves me, because I lay down my life in order to take it up again. No one takes it from me, but I lay down on my own. I have power to lay down and power to take it up again. This command I have received from my Father. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to the Lord Jesus Christ.
Please be seated. My dear sisters and brothers, in the Gospel today, Jesus reveals to us who he is. Jesus said, I am the good shepherd. And he continues to explain to us what he does for us as the good shepherd. The good shepherd lays down his life, he said. And that is the command I have received from my Father, to lay down my life for my sheep, that they may have life, and life in the full. For the fullness of the life of my sheep, I will lay down my life. And Jesus makes a distinction between a shepherd and a hireling. A hireling works for pay. All that he wants is the pay he would get at the end of the day for the work he does. He does not care for the sheep because the sheep are not his own. He just is employed by the shepherd. And what's the difference between a shepherd and a hireling? A hireling does not love the sheep. A hireling has no concern for the sheep. A hireling is working for pay, but a shepherd works because he loves. He's concerned with his sheep. And if a wolf comes, our shepherd will never run away. He would lay down his life that the sheep may be saved, that the sheep may be fed. As we read in the Psalm 23, I am the shepherd. The Lord God says, you shall not fear. Nothing indeed shall you want. I will lead you to pastures green and waters fresh. I will prepare a table for you, even in the midst of your enemies. Nothing shall you fear, nothing shall you want. My dear friends, a great confidence the Lord gives us today. A great confidence even in the moments of our troubles, even in the moments when everything seems to be going wrong with our lives, even when we could be frightened for what others would do to us, a confidence that we have in Jesus. He's come to lay down his life for me. And that means my life is more important for Jesus than his own life. If it comes to it, that a wolf, an enemy, would come to destroy me, he would allow himself to be destroyed, and he would not allow me to be plundered. And that's what Jesus said. He laid down his life for us. The wages of sin is death. The word of God tells us. And that means if there is sin in me, that sin will destroy me. It's the power of evil waiting to plunder and scatter me. And what Jesus did was to take that power of sin in me, in you, in every one of us, the power of sin in the humankind that became a huge force of evil. What Jesus did was to allow that big burden to fall upon him and crush him. He offered himself, Jesus said, "No one snatches my life away from me. I willingly offer it." There are people who interpret the betrayal and the passion and death of Jesus as a natural consequence of what Jesus did. The Romans, the Jewish religious authorities, they all turned against Jesus and they put him to death. They eliminated him. That's not true. That's not true. The truth is, he laid down his life for my sake, for me to understand how much I'm loved, how much I'm cared for. And that's what we celebrate at this altar. But dear brothers and sisters, it is when we stand at this altar, we realize how precious we are, how dear we are to our God. In other words, when we stand at this altar, we understand what is my value. What is my value? My value is the life of the Son of God. The Son of God looked at me and considered me and considers me so precious. He won't allow me to be plundered by any enemy, by anything evil. He offered himself to be sacrificed for my life, that I may live, that I may have life forever. I am the good shepherd. But dear friends, to understand this revelation, who Jesus is, we need to take it in the background of the Old Testament. The first revelation of God, who God is, comes to us from the book of Exodus. God appears to Moses in the desert. This man Moses, he grew up in the palace of the emperor of Egypt. But then he was chased out with all that burden in his heart, with all that despair burning in his heart, with all that fear and sorrow. He was living in the desert of Sinai, having nothing to do. He was meant to be the emperor of Egypt. Now he's just a useless man. And holding to all that sadness and despair and fear in his heart, he was tending the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, in the desert of Sinai. That's when a revelation came to him. Suddenly, a green bush burning. Burning, but not burned up in flames, but remaining green all the time. Moses thought, strange, wonderful, fascinating. Moses rushed to the spot. That's when Moses heard the voice of God, don't come near. The place you stand is a holy ground. Moses fell prostrate. And that's when Moses heard the voice of God, the first man, the first human person to hear the voice of God. And what did Moses hear? I have seen the tears of my people. I have heard the cries of my children. I have decided to save them. Three things Moses heard. I have seen, I have heard, I have decided. Moses thought, strange, a different type of God. What Moses was used to in the palace of the emperor of Egypt were huge statues, idols, majestic, awesome, golden idols before which even the emperor of Egypt fell prostrate. But idols, huge idols, majestic, golden, awesome, but the idols having no ears to hear, no eyes to see, no heart to decide. But this is a God having eyes to see, ears to hear, a heart to decide. And what is it God seeing? What is it that God hears? What is it that God decides? The tears of my children, God said. The cries of my people. I have decided to save them. A God with ears to hear. A God with eyes to see. A God with a heart to decide. And Moses was wonderstruck. Moses asked, "Oh God, who are you? What's your name?" And God said, I am who am. I am who am. I am means am present. I am present. I'm always present. I'm ever present, never absent. An ever present God, an ever present love, seeing your tears, hearing your cries, deciding to save you. The first revelation of God, revealing to us who God is, revealing to us what God is doing all the time. God who sees our tears, hears our cries. A God having a heart to decide to save us, to forgive us, to heal us, to set everything right for us. I am who am. It was this revelation given to God that was completed by Jesus. I am, Jesus said. Jesus said it again and again. I am the good shepherd. I am the living bread. I am the living water. I am life. I am truth. I am the way. I am. I am. I am present to you as what? As bread. As living water. As your way. I am present to you as the truth. As the life. I am. My dear brothers and sisters, awesome revelation. A revelation that should give us great confidence even in the worst, even in the saddest moments of our life, even in the misfortunes of our life. Often we imagine unfortunate things happen to us, but My dear friends, you and I, we have no reason to be frightened. We have no reason to slip into helplessness or despair. Here is a God who reveals His nature to us, His inner heart to us. What is God concerned about? What is God doing all the time? He's present to us. I am. Remember Jesus said, Matthew 10:30, even a hair that falls from your head, I have counted it all. A hair, a silly detail, a trifle. But that's not a trifle for God. That's not a silly thing for God. This God is such a great love, willing to offer His life for my salvation, for my life, that I may have life and life in the full. This God is revealing His heart to me. I am the living bread. In all these revelations, there's something beautiful. Often we imagine a God is sitting there high up in heaven. A God is majestic over the stars on the sky. A God far away from us. A God far removed from us. That's a God that often philosophers spoke about. That's a God that often the sages spoke about. But when God Himself came down to reveal to us who He is, the language of God is different. I am the living bread. What is bread meant for? Bread is meant for me to eat, right? For what? To eat. When I am hungry, bread is there for me to eat. And living water is created for my thirst. A God who knew you and I would be thirsty created water to quench our thirst. Living water that would fall upon me to refresh me. I'm the way. Way is meant for me to walk to my destination when I do not know the way. When I am at the crossroads of my life, my Jesus appears before me as my way. My way. Truth. Truth is what God is revealing to me what things are, what life is. The truth. I am the life. I'm the life. At the moments when we are frightened, life is getting drained off. Here is God telling us, I'm your life. Something beautiful in all these revelations. This is not a God who remains far away from us, who remains unaffected by our tears, unaffected by our cries. It's not a God who remains far away from us. A God waiting to enter into us. A God waiting to become part of us, part of our tears, part of our cries, part of our hunger, part of our thirst. A God waiting to make us part of Him. Part of Him. A God who is there for me in the moments I'm hungry. A God who is there for me in the moments I'm thirsty. A God who is there for me in the moments I don't find the way. A God who is there for me in the moments of my darkness as my light. I am the light, Jesus said. A God who is there for me as the root of my being. He said, I'm the vine, you're the branches. I'm a branch incorporated into the main stem. From the main stem, I am to receive all my life flowing into me. Jesus there for me. Jesus by my side. Jesus always attentive to my cries, to my tears, waiting to intervene, to save me, to heal me, to set everything right for me. My dear sisters and brothers, today, when we hear a revelation like this, it is God speaking. A revelation like this, we must be able to understand how precious our life is, how dear we are to God. This God will not allow me to be plundered by anyone, by anything. This God will not allow me to be shattered. This God is there for me. And that's what St. Paul cries out. St. Paul cries out in great joy. St. Paul cries out, if my God is there for me, who can be against me? Nothing. Nothing can be against me. Nothing can destroy me. When God gives me life, who can take it away from me? This God, my dear sisters and brothers, look into your past. Painful memories of the past. Painful memories of people leaving us alone. The people I loved. The people I cared for. The people I thought would always stand for me, leaving me alone. And the people I was ready to give my life, abandoning me. And that happens. That could happen. And yet, we have a love that will never fail me, a love that will never turn against me, a love that will never take offense even at my sin. Even if I turn against him, he does not take offense at my sin. Even if I run away from him, he runs after me to hold me close to him. My dear brothers and sisters, this is what gives us confidence. We are living in a world where everything is changing. We are living in a world where there's nothing firm or stable or certain anymore. Today, I'm healthy. Tomorrow, I could fall flat. Today, I have friends. Tomorrow, all of them could abandon me. Today, I'm able to speak. Tomorrow, I could lose my speech. And because of this uncertainty, we are losing our hope in life. No wonder we accumulate securities. We find our security in money. We find our security in name, fame, authority. But what is the real security of our life? Money, name, fame, authority, property, all that, Jesus said, will be eaten by the moth. Even the best of my friends could leave me alone. But here comes the confidence, the great confidence given to us by our God. I will lay down my life. I will never run away from you. Whatever happens, I will never run away from you. Even to the point of giving my life up, I will be there for you. I remember a man telling me, Father, every day morning when I wake up, I wonder what are the troubles, what are the problems, what are the challenges that would fall upon me today and crush me. I begin the day in fear. At the end of the day, I send out a sigh of relief. One more day I lived. We shall be different. You and I shall be different. When I wake up in the morning, I must be praising and thanking my God. I'm given one more day, a day in which my God will never leave me alone. Promise of Jesus, I will never leave you alone. Things might go wrong. I might fall sick. Others might turn against me. As someone said, every branch I hold on to breaks. Every ground I step on slips. Why should I live at all? Here comes the great confidence, the great hope for you and for me. My God will never abandon me. My God who is always there for me. And that confidence should give us great hope, great love in our hearts, you and I. We will be able to confide in God. We'll be able to find a trust in God when we understand what He reveals to us. And that revelation confirmed in what He did for us. He was ready to give up His life for me and for you. Let us open our hearts to God. There are painful memories of the past. There are anxieties about the future. But this God who comes to me, revealing to me what He is, this God is always there for me as my rock. A rock I could step on. A rock that will never shake. A rock I can build my life on. The rock of love. Let's all stand up in the presence of our God. Let's close our eyes for a moment and tell God, I believe in you, oh God. I believe in you. I put my trust in you. A storm may blow against me. The waves in the ocean may rise against me and beat upon me. But you are there in my boat. You are there. And you will rise up. You will command the waves. You will command the storm. And they will obey. There will be great calm in my life. Great peace you want to give me. Oh God, the storms, the waves that threaten me at this moment, my aches and my ailments, my problems in my family, my uncertainties about my future, Lord, I offer to you. Jesus, you take charge. Jesus, you take authority. Jesus, I'm tired crying. I'm tired being uncertain. I'm tired of the things going wrong with my life. I often ask, why? Why me, oh God? Lord, I thank you for this revelation you give me. You will wake up. You will command the storm and the sea. And my heart will be in peace again. Give me, O God, a great confidence of faith at this moment. A confidence that will never fail me. Whatever, whoever may go wrong with me. Amen.